the lunch hour, the next 4 or 5 minutes. Let's just start watching the dollar index and see how it closes. Watch the bonds, how they close. Watch ES in and around this level. Initially, I felt that there was going to be a pause at about like at 10.25. So it having a pause here is not a big deal yet. But if anyone is long, you'll definitely want to watch the bottom of the hour. For those of you in quoting things in Central Standard Time, which I do, look at 1:30, see what we do, see if we want to take this back to the downside. We could very easily get down to like 0275 before coming back up. So if you're still bullish, you can wait until 0275 to get long, and then possibly hold to 29. But I don't think 29 is viable for today. I think 29 is something that and I already marked it for yet tomorrow's pre-market plan. I already marked 29 right here. I marked the levels already, and these are the intraday levels that I'm looking at to see what we want to do. So if we close here in and around this area, possibly even you're looking tomorrow for a possible 29 is gonna be a level for tomorrow. My green guy is just texted me and he said he's gonna go to Kansas with his wife. When is he going? This weekend. And I thought it was gonna be like I was like, who the fuck wants to go to Kansas for a vacation? He's gonna go out there and check out the crops and report back. That's how dedicated he is in crops. Yeah, he's fucking insane. That's why he's my green
Why
guy.
did he give up being a farmer?
He's not a farmer. He is. Oh,
Was he
sorry.
ever a farmer? Yeah.
He was when he was younger. His parents owned a farm, something like that.
Okay. So,
And then
I reckon it'd be a fun life working on the farm.
Farming's
Like
fun.
the mechanicals and shit, just like just looks fun.
Hello, Cyril.
Hey, what's up, dude?
You still here? This is surprising.
Sorry, say again?
You still here? That's surprising.
I just hopped back on right now. I wasn't on earlier.
I just added more to my options play for end of this quarter, or the quarterly expire, 17th of March.
Nice. Later, baby.
This rally. Later. Just added it like a minute ago. This seems fucking super overextended on the buyback side of this thing.
No clue where this is going to go, to be honest with you.
It seems fairly overextended. That's why I'm looking at it like it's strange. And everybody's so fucking bullish tech now. Everybody's talking about it, that they're buying tech now. So
Yeah.
I generally don't like when everybody is in the same boat. Let's put it that way. Like everybody can't be right at the same time. I mean, sure, like it can be an overwhelming majority that's making money for a certain time, and some people has to be wrong. But when everybody piles in long in tech on a pullback like this, that's when they should rip the stops. But let's see.
Heavy selling's happening, but it's not stopping it.
No. Like it's very likely that it's not going to stop like immediately. That's why I loaded only 1/3 of the size that I am intending to fill. But I don't want to take it on Nasdaq because Nasdaq is just ripping. So rather take it on ES. Well, SPX, but really ripping. NQ is like almost up to 12,200. It's like a 200-point rip so far from the bottom. So 182 currently. Which is nuts. Some strength.
What's up?
I don't know, but it's just very strong. And then looking at the risk spreads, like for ESCB is down today as well. ESZB, ESZN is also down today on the daily. Like it's below yesterday's close on the daily.
Yep.
And the risk spread. I don't know. I'm not seeing the reason why to buy at this point in the risk spreads. But well, I would rather be a buyer in the risk spreads on SEDB around maybe somewhere between 31 and 29 ish in the risk spread between ES and SEDB. That's where I would be looking at going for a potential swing long. But we would need to clear out a lot of fucking downside for that to be relevant. Like a lot. We're at 32 currently. So. And bonds are really strong recently. Like yes, today it's very green on bonds. Don't know if it's a head fake for tomorrow or if it's or what's up, but something's odd. Tomorrow we had inflation data for Japan, GDP growth for Germany, core PCE for January, and then you have Michigan consumer sentiment. So I think we might have a rally into that, and then whatever catalysts that will be, I don't know. If it speeds it up, don't know. I'm assuming they're gonna push this up quite a bit more. Hence why I'm not putting on full size that I'm intending to put on.
Holy shit. They're getting really high up.
Yeah. Slightly overextended right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take some 0 DT puts out of the money just to fucking roll the dice. What was the low? Oh, that was there.
The low of the day?
Yeah. I'm looking in SPX, so just
74.25.
yeah. 39.70 here, 39.80. Okay, let's buy 2 of those.
Be right back, guys. Sorry, hold on.
11.39. It's been going straight up ever since pretty much half an hour after EU close. Just non-stop buying. Anyone taking anything against the stream? Yeah, sir. You with the flow or against the flow? I'm gonna bet with the flow. Because you're not like retard like me in this instance. Yasser doesn't fight. The currency goes with them. It's a lot easier. Which breakout? Yasser. The breakdown, you mean? Or yeah, okay, for 4,000. Okay, yeah, fair enough. And that was like it was struggling quite a bit there. I'm short for a potential pullback to 3,990 on 0 DT SPX puts, but we'll see. Quite a wide stop, to be honest.
Did you trade some more risky?
No. Just put on some 0 DTs, which is basically like trading the actual future, but this is more of a gamble than anything else. It's not any major size.
Yeah.
Like, let me check. Actual size traded on those. That one is
Cosmo. You said I wanted to ask you about the daily levels. Are those last levels still accurate for this week? You talking about the daily active levels, the DALs, or are you talking about daily levels? There's two separate ones.
It's basically like a 2 grand.
No, the daily actives. I was telling Aloha Dave, I was under the impression that people aren't using them, and I thought Harvey and Chia were the only ones using them. So it was sent and basically directly to them. But if you guys are using it, then I'll send it out. There are days which the last 2 days they weren't relevant, and I'll call it out. But I guess what I'll do from now on, I'll write it out. I'll say that DALs are not relevant today. Today it was relevant, but yeah. Yesterday was not relevant, although it respected it, which Harvey called out and said, is it going to respect it? I said no. But yeah.
You reckon it could reverse here?
We could, but I'm more interested in seeing what the bonds and dollar index is going to do coming into their close. No, Jazzer. I haven't put any major levels out because we haven't really done anything. My major levels are based on, either expiration, the yearly expiration and or swings, and we just haven't gone anywhere. So all the levels that are printed are still valid, or valid now. So yeah, so I would say, there's nothing to update. I will clean it a little bit coming in. So there's certain levels that either have been touched way too many times that I might take off. That's something that I do once in a while. So I'll take care of that. Wanted to also ask you about risk mitigation from your experiences. So risk mitigation is, for me, is not 2/3. It's actually half your position. And it's really two things. It depends on how many times you're actually entering, the market. If you're entering the market often and you're wrong, let's just say 40% of the time, or sorry, you're right 40% of the time, then I would say mitigate risk, give yourself another entry. So half off at 1-to-1 risk reward. And then let the remaining go to your target. If you're confident in your entries, you could exit 1/3, at 3-to-1, or 2/3, a little bit lower than 1-to-1 if you want. I prefer, 1/3 out at 3-to-1 or half off at 1-to-1. The reason being is because you can leave your stop at where it is, right? Because the most important thing, or at least for me, I always think, where am I wrong? So if you're trading to the upside, for instance, like today when I got in at a really shitty number at 79.50 long, my stop was at the low of the day, which is at 74. Now we're not wrong until it hits 74. So you want to mitigate risk, 5.5 points up, and then that way you can leave your risk there. So once it gets to that 5.5 points up or 101, you get out half, you can leave it there because it can come back at you, which it didn't really come back at me that much. I think I only got, for you MAE nerds out there who care so much about it, this was my MAE, MFE, whatever. It was 2 MAE to 54, but it's still counting because this screenshot was sent to Post a Note earlier.
That was before the big client we had just before as well.
Yeah.
So it's probably like double that now.
So I'm able to leave my stop at 74, which for me, and I think Risky, you do the same. It allows it to kind of stop there, and leave it
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I mean, taking half off after a certain amount, I mean, like if you have tight risk management to start off with, like your initial risk is low, and you cut it after 2R for half the size, I mean, you have 1R guaranteed on the trade if it comes back to break even on you. So that's just like, it's really nice to have that. Because effectively taking half off with 2R R of a profit is 1R gain, which means if you get stopped out, a full stop out, you would lose nothing. And provided that you move your stop to exactly where your entry is, then, well, you have no loss and only gains. And you have all the upside, if you're right. I usually don't add onto, like, unless there's very specific microstructure that's telling me that there's more potential in that direction. I'm not a very good trend follower, like in that regard, that I trade with the trend and add with the trend. I wish I was. I think Zero has better trading ideas in that regard than I do.
No, I fucking hate training with the trend.
Like adding on to the trend direction. I mean, I just like mitigating risk.
Adding on to
Okay. Yeah,
adding on to my
yours.
existing, yes, but
Yeah.
if I don't have a one, I can't get in. I need
I
to
have a really hard
be in the
time.
money.
I have really hard time. I have a really hard time adding to it. Like I need it to be at least like. In my case, I needed to for me to add a substantial size. I needed at least to be 4R in favor, so 4 stop lengths at least in my favor for me to add risk to it. Because then I have to justify taking losses on additional size, and that's just the way I think about it. But there's a million different ways to trade it. Like we know that there's people who likes to have core positions and then trade around that. That's fair and valid if you can make it work. I just have a mental block on doing that. I don't tend to perform well because I don't like to give back money to the market. I like to take my money and then when I take a new position, it's a whole new trade. So that's how I think about it. But it's not guaranteed that everybody should think the same way about it. We're all different when we all have different ways of trading. Like one person can be profitable at something that someone else is completely useless at. So that's just how it goes. Like for example, like I was upset the entire January because like a lot of people that are trend following or managed to like get a trade and then have the patience to sit in it. That's amazing. If you can sit through a trade for an entire day and it just slowly grinds in one direction without you being worried about it, then that's fine as well. I just have a really hard time doing that. I want my money now. At least when I'm trading with the leverage that futures offers. If I'm trading with options, different story entirely. How's everyone's
back and forth from my Zoom? Go on.
I figured. No. I finished. Like I more or less said that like a bit jealous the people that can like, for example, like in January where Fat Cat kept hitting the fucking like home runs, where he hit the bottom of the range and then could sit through the entire move and add on to it while it was going up. That's fucking amazing. If you have the patience and the balls to do that, then holy shit, you can get paid big time. But yeah, I just don't like the risk management of that trading style. I have a hard time executing that. Hence me being
Dima,
upset.
I don't trail my stops. I will, but it takes a lot. Like for instance, if we break the London's high today or today's high, then I'll trail it. Other than that, I'm not trailing it. If you trail it, chances are you're going to get stopped out, and then it's going to continue to go your way. You need like Ness just said, right? It has to be a whole new position. So it's almost like I'll start trailing it if I'm getting some kind of short signal, whether it's market structure, capital flow, or whatever it is. Then I'll start trailing it because I'm in an existing position. I won't get out because it hasn't hit my target yet, right? But I won't trail it other than that. You get what I'm saying?
Zero, can you tell these market makers to just pull the plug till we reach like at least another 10 points down, please?
So you can get in.
No, I get out with a fat profit on my 0DTs and then just fucking call it a day. Sitting here, been accumulating in but the price of the options has been going like sideways. That either means the price is slowly grinding downwards, like lower than the delta value increase of the options, or it's offsetting the theta decay because 0DT when it's like an hour left till expiry is fucking nuts. They just wither away. Probably gonna be a $2,000 loss, but that's what it is.
All right. Really quick. They're asking me about the next level. So really quick, and then I'm gonna run through why I took that trade. Hold on. Like 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's more or less like to prevent tilt trading. So I'm having a certain amount that I'm limiting myself to for 0DTs, and I have a certain amount that I'm allowing myself for longer term plays. So certain amount of dollars that I'm allowed to allocate towards, say, 20-day play or 20 days till expiry plays. And the rest of it is allocated towards basically finding very specific edge trades that I know have a high probability of winning with a decent RR. But they very rarely occur. Hence, scanners is a very important tool.
All right, guys. I'm gonna run it through right now. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry. Sometimes when I switch back and forth from Zoom, it doesn't work very well. I'll just do this. So I'll run through my trade and then we can talk about it, and we can talk about the levels too if you guys want. This is just the way I trade. This is something that I was doing it live for the most part. And I remember what, Post-it note was asking me. We got down, the low of the day was at 74.25. And I was like, holy shit, we're getting close to that 73.75, and we bounced. And post a note, and you can verify with him. He said, do you think that's it? Do you think that's good, or something like that, right? All right, something along those lines. I forget post a note, but anyhow, so once it did that and we had that good bounce, meaning we took out certain highs on the 5-second chart, what I'm looking for is a retracement back into, that breakout area, right? You can probably draw a low node and look for a low node, or whatever it may be. I got in a little bit too early at 79.50 up here, because I thought that is perhaps the bounce. Wait, was it? Fuck, where did I get it? 79.50, I think. 79.50, but I got in, I think it's like here or something, so I got in a different time. Anyhow, so I got in at 79.50. But basically what it is, I'm looking for, a structural change, a pause, if you will, right? And this is, I think, Risky, I think you do the same. I think Numbers is the same.
Yep.
Fat Catchers is a little bit differently. But essentially what we're doing is we're looking for a pause within that area. And if there's a pause you want to get in, on it, I'm looking for a pause, but I'm also looking for a structural break. Now, this violent push down right here, won't move my shit for a second so you guys can see the wick, but there's a wick right there, and that's showing me that there's actual pushing sellers, but they're failing to continue to go down. Now, can this actually come down to 70 or 75, if not lower? Yeah, but I'm willing to take a stab in and around that level to get long. And on the weekly charts, we're actually very, very extended. So those of you guys who follow, whether it's daily active levels or daily levels, you're able to see that, holy shit, we're overextended. So I'm going to switch it to this real quick. Let me hide. Let me hide this. I'm going to hide this. That's fine. That's fine. I'll hide this as well. Okay. Actually, let me hide one more. Actually, no, I don't need to. Okay. So I'm not going to move my screen so you guys can see it, so it's a little bit more clear. You can see the D+2, D+1, D-1, D-2, and D-3, right? Look at how additional confluence we have coming into the daily -2. Now, we're not trading these levels. We're just identifying that, on a daily basis, this is essentially 2 standard deviations down. And you're looking at a push back up. Now, 2 standard deviations isn't a lot. Oftentimes, just like, I think it was like Tuesday, we had, far past 3 standard deviations. But, when I'm looking on the weekly standard deviation, we're far below the weekly -3. So my anticipation, and, I also did a back test, this weekend for people. I think in Praerator you were there. I think Peter, you were there as well, right? We were talking about back testing, and this is exactly one of the back tests is when we extend below the weekly -3, what do we do? And 49 something percent of the time we come back into value. Imperial, you were there. Okay, I was just double checking. We will come back into value. So as we extend below that weekly -3, that gave me additional confluence. And then we have that level at 73.75. We have the daily level right here at 76.50. It's just adding, everything is just stacking on top of each other. So then you're just going on to a smaller time frame to see what's happening in and around that level. Now, this price action happens all over the place, but it doesn't mean shit unless it's at a good level. So I'm just waiting for it to get to that level. Now, I'm going to go to, another level of ours, today. Here, we had that action. Thank you. We had that action. And you might have taken a loss here, which is fine. And then here, we had another action. But guess what? You would have, at the very least, if you mitigated risk, you would have been broken even, if not up for a little bit. And let's just say you didn't even take anything off. You would have broken even. Again, coming up to, today's level right here. We had a level right here at 29, right? In and around that level. We're not doing exactly at that level, but there's this price action right here. We never really got the good pullback, but it didn't stall, right? This is an action we're looking for right here. It pushes up, we're not taking it. It stalls, and you short. And and I'll be honest with you, I didn't get this short. It would have been worked out perfect. So it's just looking at it at a smaller time frame for the action that you're looking for. Whether even if it's EMAs and you're looking for EMA crossovers or some shit, whatever it may be, it works very well. So today's scenario, and I'll probably recap this tomorrow, wasn't exactly 3 because we didn't finish on the low end, but it respected the levels very, very well today. Yes, these middle ones didn't respect it, but you shouldn't have taken too many losses there. Did that help? Who asked? I forget who asked. Oh, Cosmo, did that help? I have major levels, and then I started tracking. I started tracking intraday levels. I usually don't trade intraday levels. So I usually just play major levels, to be honest with you. The daily active levels are very similar. They're risk ranges, meaning based on what Asia and London have accomplished and what they try to do, it tells me in and around those areas are areas where it's extended. So they're more risk ranges, if you will. So say like a Donchian channel, or like what else is like extensions. I don't know, just extensions to upside downside. So it's more just like looking at it. I'm not necessarily trading it all the time either, because you're still waiting for it to get to, you need multiple confluence, right? I recognize that there's a lot of levels. Weeklies, dailies, it's all simply just a measure of what that instrument actually does, with back testing. So that's what I use it for. It's not necessarily, a level where I'm trading at. I don't trade, all these levels right here. Whether they respect it to the tick or not, I just don't trade it. What I trade is major levels and, and my, pre-market plan levels, which, those are more for intraday trading. When it comes to major levels, those are my swing trades that once it hits, I don't just take it right away. I watch it, and I usually hold those for at least 5 days. And my levels aren't necessarily like support resistance, like where people do. They're levels that attract price. So once it gets to a level, if we can't close and hold above it, then I know that it wants to get to the next level lower. So we have a level at 41.87. We got up there. The only day we actually closed above it which I wasn't sold on, was on February 2nd. And after that, I was like, okay, well, we don't want to close above it yet. And you're really just scalping to the downside to where? To the next level, which is 01. And it attracted to it. And that's the way I play it. You get it, Cosmo? We might get to 29 today, I guess. I mean, we have enough time. Postino, I hope you're still in it.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't want to die, so
Yeah.
it just refuses.
I do. I wouldn't say it's ranking. I know what is going to be more respected, and I run it through during. I run it through during pre-market in the sense of, the pre-market plan does take account of major levels. So I'm looking at major levels as well, and I'm seeing which one I feel is going to respect the most for that day. Because again, all of you guys are intraday traders, unless someone tells me otherwise. That's the I think the smarter guess. No, Ness, I don't use volume profile at all. I believe there are a lot of people in here that actually trade volume profile, Ness, if you want to talk to them about it. Obviously Fat Cat, right? But there's a million other people in here. John also does it. Cosmo, for me, it's I learned it from some old pick guys, which I'm still learning from them. Unfortunately, I do respect them, so I don't, I'm still finding the right. I don't want to say candidate. Finding the right person to teach it to. But if you want to generate your own levels, if you want to use like volume profile, then use volume profile. And I think Risky does the same. Correct me if I'm wrong, Risky. And I think John does the same as well. Harvey does the same. They'll layer the levels or whatever with mine, and whatever has additional confluence, they'll play those levels harder, I think.
Yeah.
But they'll still play their own levels, and they do well. John does,
He could
John
have done
calls
better
things very well.
if he just holds them.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, I just get a couple points. I'm happy.
John has he doesn't have paper hands. He has like fucking.
I don't know what it is. It's
cotton
like
hands or
wet.
whatever the
It's
fuck
like
it is.
wet paper hands.
Yeah, exactly.
They like dissolve.
Yeah, they just disappear.
They just dissolve, and then all of a sudden, the position is just also liquidated with his hands.
Yeah. So just layer with your own levels, Cosmo. Whether it's standard support resistance, like that 187. Like I forgot who said it in here. Like, well, yeah, you got it because it's a resistance level. You can see on a daily. I was like, yeah, but it's been there for like, I don't know, 6 months. So it's like, it's a resistance level because, uh, it's a level. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. But yeah, I would layer yours. Layer your stuff on top of it.
The funniest
That's not
thing
true, Cosmo. That's not true. Like today, if I didn't get that good trade to the upside, I'd be down for the day. And I said it on stream earlier. Those of you guys who were in here, I said I was down for the day. And then, I don't want to say it's lucky, but I was smart enough to say I'm fucking tired because I've been on the screen all day, and I took a break. And then not until I saw, Harvey and Post-a-Note, we jumped on a call. I started trading again. But other than that, I didn't pick the bottom. Or whatever. I was more so just stepping away and be like, okay, I'm down for the day. Not a lot, but enough that I noticed that I'm catching a falling knife. And everyone's susceptible to that, which I addressed earlier this week, and then I just stepped away. My bias was still buy before you sell. I said that pre-market, even though the market dropped, my bias is still that buy before you sell. Just like yesterday, yesterday I believe I said that is a two-way trade. I think I said it was a two-way trade yesterday. Yeah. So, Sully, yeah, low day.
And they're so dirty today, how they're trading this.
Yeah.
Like they're literally trading it inside of yesterday's consolidation. It's not, yesterday's consolidation. Like in the middle of yesterday's consolidation, they started off like fucking around at 406, then pulled it up here to 4015. Now they're inside of today's consolidation between 4019 and 4012. This is SPX I'm talking about. So give or take 2 points up or down on ES.
Yeah. It's funny because we are coming into challenging yesterday's high as well. I guess Sully doesn't have his
price. Not very far off.
Yeah,
it's not very far off, at least the yesterday's high. On SPX, the high was 40017, and currently we're trading at 4015. So I don't know.
Yeah. I'm surprised too, Sully. I really didn't expect this to drop that far, which is why my scenario 3 was dropping it this far. I really didn't anticipate for that. Cosmo, London closed. A lot of the MOCs come in, so if they're, let's just say they're short for the day, which clearly they were, or they were at least participating on the short side. Oftentimes, when their MOCs hit, you'll see a reversal, or at least a directional change, and or perhaps at least a stall, and then you can kind of see what they're trying to do, because maybe the U.S. is participating to the short side. So, for instance, today they're participating on the short side, and then once London closes, they're like, "Oh, London's short. Are they still short? If they're still short, we'll take this up, steal some liquidity, and then ramp it down." Right. So, oftentimes, Cosmo, you'll see stuff like that. And this is
disgustingly strong today. What the fuck?
Yeah. And this is why, I track what London and Asia did, what they try to accomplish to get levels, and to get an idea, and that's how daily active levels come about. So you don't necessarily need to use everything. You can just be like, okay, well, I like the fact that Zero tracks what London and what Asia tries to do, and these are the extensions of those levels. Right, so that's what you can try to do.
It's disgusting. Fucking Nvidia. What the fuck?
Nvidia's fucking great.
What the fuck?
Cosmo, yeah, Asian closes the same thing, but I don't like to use it too much. It has to be a decent trending day.
What's Nvidia?
Something obvious.
Nvidia is trading currently. I think I'm slightly delayed, but $236.
You know what's sad?
Uh-huh.
I had Nvidia shares at 125. I sold at 175.
What?
Well, your liquid hands prevail in all situations.
Still up, but I'm not sure why I
Yeah.
sold before the earnings run up. That's pretty stupid
No
of me.
one knows why you sold.
No. That's the reason why the meme exists. Well, I don't really get it. Like I don't understand where there is a so-called like supply chain issue, or that Nvidia would actually deliver something to the market that are actually buyable at current valuation. I don't get it. Because just spamming AI all through your fucking earnings release doesn't mean anything. Because that's basically what they've done. Like fucking clobber it with like sure, it was an 8.5 surprise, 8.53% surprise.
I could do a call credit spread.
Probably.
Imperator,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
today, if you look at just the London session right before pre-market of the US, they didn't do anything. Right? If anything, either the US or the London brought it up pre-market of the US just to smash it down later. So
Have
I
you
wouldn't
looked
say
at the
they really bought it.
European equities, by the way, like the indexes, Zero?
Yeah, I always look at them.
They've moved down 1.5%, while ES was down like 6 at the max.
Which gives you capital flow, gives you confidence to not be holding your shorts.
Like I don't get it. Like it's bull crap currently. Like I don't know why you would own these businesses. Like most of those businesses, they're not generating that massive of a cash flow. That's the reason. Like there's no fundamental reason why you would own them.
Which is why you kind of have to let it go and take liquidity before you slam the downside.
Yeah, I know. Like they've been pretty much going sideways. Most of those companies have been going sideways since 21st of January. So they've pretty much been jumping up and down like 4 or 5% on a daily basis, and then ending up neutral for the day. So they like European indexes are pretty much flat or slightly up. Yeah. But 17th of January, we had one consolidation phase that lasted for 12 days, no, 16 days. And then we had another consolidation phase now for another 22 days. So it's doing nothing. Like, I don't get it. Like, look at if you're screen sharing, look at for example, this ticker is FDAX, FDI. Yeah, you're looking at it. Like, look at it on a daily. Like, look at how fucking disgusting that is. Like, you can see that, like, those days there, that's horrendous. Like, enlarge it so everybody sees it. Like, they'll see fucking Jesus Christ, man. Look at that bullshit. Like, do you see any dip there? And then if you would overlay ES over that, you would see some fucking bullshit.
What do you think to look to scale out here?
I think 1 second. Let me see real quick. Yeah, that's crazy. Let me see. ES. Are you doing intraday or are you taking it high?
I could go overnight.
1 second.
A good practice.
It's up to you if you want to hold.
Yeah, I'll take off 2 and leave the last one on.
I mean, I still think 29 is viable for the next day, but I can see this falling in. Yeah, NQ's done a good job to the upside. Dollar index closed, basically did nothing. Yeah, yeah, actually, yeah, I think you should exit like
I'll take 2 off the one
1950.
on.
1950. No, I think this is fairly toppy. Or, you could now trail it up to say, 1125 and see what happens for the rest of it, right? So you're still aiming. So let's just say you're still aiming for 29.
I mean, I would be
say-
careful. Depends how like what your entry point is, of course.
Yeah. His entry point is pretty good. I would say it's a 1-to-1 at this point. So I would just watch. Maybe they're gonna top tick this. Maybe they won't. I'll be careful at this point. Imperator, I hope that answer your question. Oh. Get it? Post it, mate.
What? Post it, mate?
Oh, you guys don't have Post-it mate there?
No.
Oh, Postmate, sorry. Yeah.
Is that like a...
Yeah, it's
PayPal
like a
thing?
food service.
Oh, true, never heard of it. We got menu log here, that's our big thing.
I mean, I think I would exit Post-it. But
Yeah, I took 2 off, left 1 on.
okay.
That way I can have some overnight practice as well.
Yeah, just drag it to your entry price and then just leave it. And then, it could be good practice for swing. Did Fat Cat stream at all today? No, right?
No.
Jesus. And that motherfucker put us at the bottom. He thinks it's funny.
That was him that done that. I noticed that.
Yeah, I woke up this morning and I saw, I was like, you motherfucker. I mean, I could change it, but I'll let him have his
Yeah.
fun.
No, it was funny. I thought you done it.
No.
Lords and Kings chat. What the fuck?
No, they might, Imperial, they might actually just participate. So if they notice, US pre-market, if they run it up and they're stealing additional liquidity, it depends on where, obviously other things come in factors such as Asia, previous sessions and stuff like that. But let's just say we're just looking at this in isolation. They could most definitely run this down and they see that US is running it down. because still the volume is still highest in the US. Real traded volume. Though, if they see US selling this off, they might liquidate with the US, and which causes the plummet. And of course, this is like more so educated guess. And then, still London close. We can still have a relief rally or whatever you want to call it, right? A pullback. So let's just say, you're still long biased like we are today. You can take a stab there and see if it can recover and actually possibly even break the high of the day or whatnot. So I would say, it's you have to think of it as London screws Asia, and the US tries to screw London, right?
At the moment,
Um,
I'm more thinking that they're trying to screw over the CTAs because they have like that's because we're right at an area where technically, if it would break down hard here, I think that the reason where they start flipping to going short the market is somewhere between 380 on the SPX to 350 something, 3950. So that's area of interest where they will start selling equities instead of being long equities. And if they can trigger them to sell it and someone else can buy it from underneath them, then that is a very good deal because they're selling very large volumes. So basically blowing them out of the water at their expense, and then they join in and go long on the same trade that they previously was long. It's kind of fucking like these strategies, and it's also fucking all the people who are buying zero DTs, which is interesting to say the least. But I don't think you're wrong, by the way. That's not what I'm saying with the different sessions having different goals. But right now, it seems like a lot of fuckery around a very important level for a lot of momentum funds. And if they get fucked, well, they have their pain tolerances where they will swap from being long only to short only again.
Holy fuck, 29 is really gonna hit today. This is insane.
It looks like it.
Imperator, see it as like the flow of money, right? I don't want to call it capital flow. Some people call it that, but it's not. There's new money being pumped into the system, actual money, not algo money. Algo money is there to make a quick buck. Market makers are there to make even a quicker buck. These are true directional, you know, biases. But during a trend, a strong trending, say, starting trending week or on a higher time frame, like on a daily or a weekly, then you're not going to see that much liquidation on closes because, even though they need to MOC out their positions, they might MOC in as well, right? So if it's the same thing as like the US market. If everyone is extremely bullish, let's just say, when London closes, their client orders are going to be to buy. So it's just going to push the market higher, right? If it's net buy. And say, for the US, if, coming into the close, if a lot of people are like, oh, I do want to buy, and there's a big buyer, it's going to shove the market up as well. So, you kind of have to think about it in multiple ways. You can't take anything, you can't look at anything in a microscope, right? Imperator, aren't you from Sweden too? Or is it Peter?
Imperator is from Germany.
I was from Germany.
And then Sedan is from Switzerland. I think there's where's his? No, he's not in here currently. And Piotr's US, even though he has a Polish name.
I've always been
American
shocked
Polish.
by Germans trading. It's like I heard that you have to pay on your losses too. So I don't know why anyone would trade in Germany.
Yeah, I know. To a certain extent, they have to do that. It expand like certain things they have to do. There's an advantage to trading CFDs. Let's put it that way in Germany.
Okay.
CFD trading is very favorable for German citizens. If you know how to trade properly and you know how to manage your not lose any money ever, then Germany is a very good country to live in, especially if you trade crypto.
Not lose money ever.
Yeah. Very simple rule. Keep your losses extremely fucking small. And your winners fucking humongous. So then the tax that you're paying on your gains will be very minimal.
John.
Or you can do whatever some people in Sweden here do. And that's even funnier.
Didn't Bayman say he's gonna go?
Yeah. He did.
He's still
He's
here.
still looking at it, addicted. The crack cocaine doesn't leave his system until he gets to see the final showdown.
Seriously. This guy.
But then things changed.
Meaning he got into the market.
Date cancelled.
He got long, that's what it
Yeah. He basically saw it running up and then said, fuck it. Just fucking hit it. I don't know why I keep fucking around with 0DT options. I keep losing money to it, but it's like it's like going and buying a lottery scratch ticket, one time I might make money out of it,
I do.
Then
Cosmo.
it pays off like 100 to 1.
Why do you ask? Or why do you assume?
He's a gambler. I mean, technically, what we're doing is gambling. It's just qualified guessing at this point. Am I wrong or am I right, Zero?
It's better than sports gambling. It's better than gambling.
Yeah. True, but like the basic premise of it is the same.
The only advantage sports gambling has is you can't change your mind anymore once you buy it.
Yeah, well, it takes out the retarded trading mentality. Oh, I'm gonna cancel on this, even though it hasn't proven me wrong yet. You just have to be right all the time. Initially, you can't change your mind. And I think that's the thing a lot of people misunderstood or misinterpreted is that some people even if they don't stick to their plan, if they're really good at trade management, they can fucking make a killing from just doing that, realizing they're fucked, and then cutting it and then getting in the right direction.
I think he means Jigsaw Gecko.
Nope, I have not tried Jigsaw's new release. I have it because my brother uses it for trading, but I can download
So
it
Cosmo,
tomorrow.
why'd you say that you think that I have a sports betting background? I'm just curious.
You sound like a degenerate. You act like a degenerate. You must have a sports betting background.
That's not true.
You mean you sound like a sophisticated degenerate? That's the truth, Cyril.
Hey man, I would be playing video games if it wasn't right now.
If it wasn't for trading, you would be playing video games instead.
Well, if I'm not on the stream, I would be playing video games. There's nothing to do here. I'm not
True.
going to exit my position. I'm not going to enter a position.
Well, what would you be playing?
I just play stupid shooting games just to pass time against bots. Nothing like crazy. I don't like those MMOs. It takes too much time.
True.
Yeah,
Football Manager.
I heard a lot of people tell me to play that.
It's in depth.
I think I'll
so
be-
good in casual.
Yeah, I think I'll be too addicted.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
good. You
Imperial
can pause it
cannot.
anytime you want.
Come
We
on,
didn't
last
hit
20 minutes
29 yet.
now. 40 points straight down. Come on, you can do it. I want my 0DTs to be like at least flat so I can get out. Not gonna happen, but
Cosmo. I think for the most part, I think of things as edge than it is managing risks. I think managing risks is easy when it comes to sports betting, but when it came to sports betting, I was looking for edge. I did back tests, did a lot of different stuff for it. Yeah, I played poker as well.
I mean,
I was not
Gecko,
amazing at it.
there's only one reason. And it's because someone magically decided that it was not worth pushing the button to trigger the CTA sell-off. Even though it was within 10 points of range.
So if you watch like Nasdaq, we top ticked the high of the day, which actually caused the ES to falter as well.
I mean, like a lot of the move down, like, okay. One thing I read earlier was there was a lot of people who went long yesterday, basically at the lows. And they had a lot of profit immediately when they started off the day. And then it started selling. So after the first rip down, that was at 10:48 roughly, that ended at 10:48. They started selling as well because they wanted to take the profit that was out from yesterday. And then basically the last leg of the move down was from 10:48 onwards till midday, was pretty much just them pushing out their last fucking hit and then going back in again with a better price. But
Yeah, that could be it. I didn't hear about it, but
a lot
it
of the
makes sense.
Europeans went long on yesterday's dip. So I don't know if the US markets are just fucking them around.
Right.
Like a lot of the managers, and then we're talking like in the class of $100 million or more in assets, and that's like family office.
Right.
Then know two Swedish family offices that had like basically bought yesterday. They bought QQQ and SBY and some Nvidia.
All right, guys. I'm gonna call it a day. I'll see you guys in the morning for pre-market prep.
Yeah. Have a
All
good
right,
one.
man.
Later.
Later,
Happy
Zero.
night. Later.
RIP my 0 DTs. They're not gonna recover. 19 minutes left. Later, guys. I'm gonna call it as
Yeah.
well.
Me too. I need to drop a big doogie.
Yep. You do that.
Thank you.
Throw it at the kangaroo.
Says.
I dare you. Think it's gonna go
No,
up
no,
and
fuck
punch
me
you
up.
in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a good one.
So.